Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. So today on the Black Financial Channel, I'm going to talk about why millennials cannot buy a house. I'm going to give you a few reasons why, and then I'm going to give you solutions as to what you can do about that to avoid these financial problems. Number two, if you stick around to the end of the video, I got a stock for you that I really like. I just bought some shares in this company, and I will share it with you right now. So get comfortable, buckle up the seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor on the Black Financial Channel. We talk about Black wealth and Black economics every day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day. Under the B1 condition, B1 means we are Black first. Black first means we put our community at the top of our priority list. The All Black National Convention and the Black Business School, we operate under a belief we call the Black Core of Three. The Black Core of Three is that we believe Black people can and should educate our own children, create our own jobs, and support Black-owned businesses. I believe if we do those three things, our people will succeed. Now, give me a quick yes. Let's do a quick audio check. Give me a yes if you can hear me okay. And also shout out the city you're from. Let me know what city you're from and shout out the name of your business. If I see your business name, I'm going to shout it back. Jonathan Golden, good to see you. Eileen Nelson. Johnny Q, good to see you too. Justin Pender. All from New York City. Very nice. Let's see. Kip Johnson, Sadiria Wesson, Eileen Nelson, Jeremy, Brian Little. Let's see. Who else is in here? Lolly J out of Memphis. Ooh, that's an interesting city. I love Memphis. Jimmy Trenard. What's going on, Jimmy? How are you? Okay. And he says that the audio is good. Thank you very much, Jimmy. I appreciate that. Henry, is that Henry Irvin and Ernestine and D'Angelo and Anna and Gregory. Okay, so as we get started on this conversation, two things I want to mention. Number one, and I'm gonna keep mentioning this regularly because I think this needs to be heard. Black women must be protected. Robin Simpson has been on my mind because Miss Robin Simpson is a member of the B1 community who spoke at the All Black National Convention in 2019. She was just murdered by her husband, allegedly. And he allegedly, according to their daughter, their 8-year-old daughter, stabbed her many dozens of times in front of their 8-year-old daughter. And now she's not with us. So I'm bringing up Robin Simpson's name and I'm putting it in the universe because the police are now being challenged and questions about whether or not they did their job and they actually showed up when they were supposed to show up, because the idea that a woman was had her life taken in such a brutal way while the police were in the backyard makes no sense to me. And so just so you know, I'm going to sound real redundant because I'm going to say this sister's name a billion times in hopes that somebody is going to hear it and that something will get done and that justice can be found for her family and for that child. Okay, so if you use the hashtag justice for Robin or the hashtag Robin Simpson, if you would share this on social media, I would appreciate that very much. So anyway, that's where I want to start there. And then also I spoke today with a Black race car driver by the name of LeVar Scott. And LeVar Scott is working his way up to NASCAR. Now, the hard part about being a NASCAR driver is money. You need money. It costs millions of dollars to run a racing team. But I met this young guy at the Daytona 500. He impressed me because he did such a great job. He was a part of what they call the ARCA series. And in case you guys don't know, we've had a long history. Black people have a rich history in race car driving. We actually used to have something called the Golden Glory Sweepstakes. 100 years ago, the Golden Glory Sweepstakes was as big as like the NFL or the NBA. And they would go and fill up stadiums full of Black folks all around the country. And they had these race car drivers and celebrities and hundreds of Black-owned businesses that were all connected to the racing circuit. So you actually have a rich history of Black race car drivers. So shout out to LeVar Scott. I'm going to mention his name regularly because I like what this young brother's doing and I want to support him as much as I can. All right, so let me get into this conversation today. Hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. All right, so let me give you 7 quick points in terms of what millennials are dealing with as it pertains to buying a home. It's getting much harder every generation to buy a house. Next generation is not going to be any easier than the last. So you have to make sure that you are preparing your kids for the future. Now, Justin says, I'm making a killing off C3.ai and Coinbase in Prime. Good for you, Justin. I love it. I love seeing Black people making money. I just love it, man. You made my day, Justin. You made my day. Justin's making, I'm going to call you Big Money Justin. Anyway, if you want to join the Prime program, go to drboyceprime.com. Take a look. It's you'd be amazed at what kind of cash flow you can get from selling stock options, and it's not hard to do. All right, so anyway, let's get back to it. Well, there's some intricacies, but if you when you know that stuff the way I do, it's kind of right there in front of you. So anyway, feel free to go to drboyceprime.com if you want to take a look. All right, so here are quick points in terms of reasons millennials are having a hard time buying a house. Number one, there's a low housing supply for millennials. A lot of young people, particularly millennials, can't get a house, can't get a house in their price range. So the market's kind of changed and the dynamics have gotten difficult. Millennials also have a lot of debt, a lot of financial hardships, mostly due to things like student loans and credit card debt, and then also some automobile debt. Those are three types of debt that just kind of get people into a lot of trouble. The type of debt, if I could trade it out instead of instead of having us with all that student loan debt, I would trade that in a second for debt for a small business. If I could get business loans to replace student loans, then that would actually increase black wealth by several trillion dollars, because a student loan, it's like, you got about a 50-50 on being able to pay it back, since half of all black college graduates default on their student loans. Whereas if you were to offer business loans at a smaller amount, there'd be less debt to repay, and also there'd be a stronger economic engine, right? So I'm a believer that most black people should learn how to start a business. Every black child should learn how to invest, buy real estate, things like that. You can't lean on the system to take care of you when it's the system that's oppressing you. Do you hear what I'm saying? If the system is the thing that's oppressing you, then you can't lean on the system to save you. The thing that's oppressing you is not going to save you, because your oppressor is not your savior. But some of us fall into that, right? It goes all the way back to the white Jesus phenomenon, right? We really believe that our savior and our oppressor are the same person, and it's a hell of a mind trick. We fall for the banana in the tailpipe every time, and it puts us in these crazy situations. So remember, your savior is not going to be the same as your oppressor. In fact, the way you can identify your real savior is the savior is not going to be friendly with the oppressor. The oppressor is not going to be happy when they see your savior come along. So just the same thing is true when you talk about black people that are truly going to pull black people out of this mess that we're in. It's not going to be the Negroes on TV. It's not going to be the folks that are in Hollywood, because they are loved by the oppressor. The oppressor is happy to see them coming. The people that are really your champions, in my view, are the ones that have been rejected by that system. Why? Well, because they broke out of the matrix. Do you understand? Give me a yes if you're following what I'm saying there. I think that's a simple idea, but I think it's very important to understand. Let's keep going. Hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. You're watching the Black Financial Channel, theblackfinancialchannel.com. A lot of you don't know that the Black Business School, you can actually get started for free. We've helped millions of people. So if you'd like to take a look at what we have going on, just go to theblackbusinessschool.com. We educate the entire family, all the way from grandma down to the grandbabies. And because we believe that the whole Black family as a unit should be economically prepared for the future. Also, a lot of the principles from our book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, which is an independent book. It's an Amazon bestseller. There are ideas in this book that I know are not discussed in various textbooks, but I wrote that book specifically for you. So if y'all don't read it, then nobody's going to read it, because I didn't write it for other people. All right. So anyway, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Here's some other reasons why millennials have trouble buying a house. Let's see. The average millennial's net worth has actually doubled in the last 5 years, so that's a good thing. But so it's crazy they still can't buy houses, even though their net worth is going up. Also, let's see. There's a strong demand for homes from millennials, so that puts pressure on the market. Student loans, obviously, that's a big issue. And then there's also a lot of belief that the demand for homes from millennials could actually drive another housing bubble, which could have some long-term problems associated with it too. And that is a concern. Now, one thing I'm going to say for just to be clear is that generally speaking, real estate is an excellent investment. Real estate is generally speaking a good long-term move. It's very rare that you're going to ever see a property that is in a decent neighborhood that costs less 5 years later than it did 5 years ago, or definitely not 10 years later. I saw this video, and I say this because I hear people that'll say things that don't make any sense when it comes to real estate. They'll say things like, I'm waiting for the prices to go down. I'll buy when the prices go down, or when the market cools off. That's not really the best approach, in my opinion, because since when have you ever seen a decent neighborhood where property costs less 10 years later than it did 10 years before? Let me know if you get what I'm talking about. Like, do you ever see that happen anywhere? I saw a video where they were talking about how how expensive houses were. It's an old video from the 1980s, and they were freaking out because of the skyrocketing cost of homes in San Diego, and how it's impossible to buy a house in San Diego. And do you know what they literally said? They said, you won't believe what the average home price is in San Diego now. Do you know what number they said? They said like $83,000. They said, oh my God, can you believe that the average home in San Diego costs $83,000? That's funny, right? And 80, the 1980s weren't that long ago, right? A lot of you were teenagers in the 80s. Maybe you were in elementary school in the 80s. Some of you were born in the 80s. So you're not talking about a long time ago. So effectively, real estate is a great investment. Real estate is something that I think that our kids should be better trained on real estate and starting businesses and investing than they are at basketball, football, and twerking. You ain't gonna make no money twerking. Strip clubs don't pay that well. You ain't gonna make no money playing basketball 99.9% of the time. You're not gonna make no money playing football 99.9% of the time. Although sports can give you skill sets that you can apply to be successful in other areas of life. There are a lot of great things I learned about success in economics that I learned from playing sports. Sports teaches you delayed gratification, teaches you teamwork, it teaches you hard work, it teaches you goal setting, it teaches you perseverance and persistence, it teaches you how to lose and keep going. So sports teaches you a lot. I used a lot of what I learned from sports to be successful in other areas. But the thing about it though is that I think we got to get our kids ready for the big game. The big game is the game of life. Right. The real competition is when that white man trying to put his foot on your neck and trying to keep you oppressed and trying to keep you down in the dirt, down in the dumpster. And you got to fight back against that. That's the real fight. That's the real game. That's the real national championship. And a lot of times we show up unprepared. And I think I think we can do better than that. I really do. I believe we can do so much better than that. And let's see. MCM says, I like this guy, Doctor. You're the man. Well, you're the man, man. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate you. You just made my day. So, all right. So anyway, let me quit my yapping. I just want to come in and hopefully share some perspective that will help you in your economic journey. As I promised, I told you guys I'd give you a stock that I just bought. And so feel free to take a look at it. It is not investing advice. I have to make sure I say that. Give me a yes if you understand that. But it's stock that I'm buying. So I'm just sharing it with you in case you're interested. And also, before we do that, though, could you please hit the thumbs up button? Thumbs up, share. Make sure you subscribe. Also, we are doing real estate in the Black Business School. I have a survey training camp on real estate that I do called Dr. Boyce Real Estate. And literally what I do is once or twice a month, I will bring in real estate experts. Last week, we had Chalet Camilo, who is the CEO and founder of Vital Source Realty. And we're also going to bring in some other real estate experts in commercial, in multifamily, residential, mixed use, whatever type of real estate you're interested in. We're going to bring all those people in. And we also have trainings that are available right now if you log in. So feel free to go to drboycerealestate.com and you can get a discount if you'd like to join the program. That's one of the things we have going on in the Black Business School. We keep you busy. We have a lot of great stuff there. You can bring your kids. In fact, we don't just allow you to bring your children. We encourage you to bring your children. We don't just allow you to share your membership with your family. We encourage you to share the membership with your family, because I don't know if anybody's ever dealt with the stress and frustration of learning new things and then trying to share that with people who are addicted to the old things. Tell me if you know what I'm talking about. Like where you come in with new ideas, but they're still stuck on the old ideas. You trying to move forward, they're trying to go backward. Well, how about all of you move forward together? And we got you in the Black Business School. We have a Black financial therapy department. Go to any HBCU or any white university on the planet and see if they have a Black financial therapy department. That is a reflection of the genius of the staff and the team that we have. We just added 2 more people to the staff, Dr. Tashi and Dr. Vibe, two excellent, brilliant people that are going to be facilitating conversations with many of the Black experts in our community. And what we're finding in our work, which is very exciting to us, is that you have no idea just how valuable our people are. You have no idea how rich and how deep and how amazing the talent is in our community. Dr. Eric Prince is about to come in. He's a health genius. Dr. Christina Parks, PhD in cell and molecular biology. With Julian Gordon, our dean of real estate, went to Stanford and UCLA and has been absolutely killing the game since the beginning of time. We have so many brilliant people. Michael Roberts, who runs companies worth over $1 billion. Dr. George C. Frazier, whose book Success Runs in Our Races require reading at every HBCU in America. And I haven't gotten started. Larry Miller, the CEO of the Air Jordan brand, with that sells Michael Jordan shoes all across the planet. He's responsible for turning the Air Jordan brand into the multi-billion-dollar behemoth that it became. These are the types of people that we've brought through. This is the Black excellence that we require and that we connect with. And what's powerful about it is that, and this is what, if you want to know what our requirement is that you have to have grown enough that you're not spending your life just trying to impress other folks. You have to believe enough in us that you really care about us. You have to be black first. You can't be, like I don't want some guy that's on TV or some guy who's making rap records that are destroying the Black community and all that. I want somebody who really understands that we are our top priority. We are what we need. We are the chosen people. At least we need to choose ourselves and choose each other. Seriously, we are the chosen people in that particular regard. That we are the chosen people because every day when I get up, I'm choosing y'all. I'm choosing me. I'm choosing us. I'm choosing the children around me. I'm choosing the people in my hood, in my community, in my space. I'm not choosing other people. I'm not trying to impress nobody else. I'm not trying to impress Hollywood. I'm not trying to impress people in corporate America. I'm not trying to impress any of that. I'm trying to impress my own. I'm trying to make things happen here, right? So that's the thing. I want us to build on the land on which we stand, and I believe that we have the capacity to do that. And if we tap into even 10% of the enormous, amazing human capital that exists within the B1 space, you will be blown away. Alan Bean is one of the people that was at the convention, and Alan is like working on building wooden skyscrapers or something. He was telling me about the technology to build wooden skyscrapers. There's so many brilliant people in our space. We have a university right here. We don't need to go to Harvard, Yale, Stanford. I mean, sure, they got smart white folks out there. God bless them. I have nothing against them, but we're pretty good ourselves. So anyway, let me stop yapping for a minute and let me share this stock with you. The stock that I like right now is Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals, ARWR. I just bought some shares in Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals. Now, when I mention the stock to you, it is because I believe that in the next 3 to 5 years, that stock has a reasonably good possibility of being a strong asset. It does not mean that I have a crystal ball that tells me which stocks are going to do well. I do not own such a crystal ball. There is no such crystal ball. However, if a good diversified strategy over time, where you're spreading your money out and putting into high quality companies over time, is a tried and true method for building wealth. And actually, if you want to just see the stocks that I pick for my students every week, I pick a flock every single Sunday. So just go to drboycestocks.com. It's called What Dr. Boyce is Buying. You can do a free trial at drboycestocks.com. So feel free to go and take a look at that. But the thing was, last night I was talking to a grandma, and I want to talk to every parent, grandparent in this room right now. And she was confused by the stock market. She was telling me about what she was doing with her kids, and she said that she said that she puts $10, I think $10 a month in all their savings accounts or something like that, or maybe it's $10. I think no, it's $10 a week. $10 a week, and when they get to $500, she buys a CD for the kids. And I said, that's beautiful. That's wonderful. Like, that's going to make a big difference for them, especially given the interest rates are higher now. Now, because interest rates are higher, CDs are a great investment. You got treasury bills where you can actually go right to the website and buy treasury bills there if that's what you want to do. Because that's all the bank does. They take your money, they just buy treasury bills with it. But I said, did you ever think about investing in stocks? And she told me that her husband invests in stocks, and that he kind of plays the stocks. When people use that term, like, I play the stock market a little bit, that bothers me some, because I don't want you to play the stock market. I don't want you playing around with your future. I don't want your future is not playtime. This is not the casino. I prefer something that's a little more measured than that. But she mentioned her husband kind of plays around with stocks, and she has some money in her 401k. She maxes it out, which is a great wealth building strategy. And I said, well, and I showed her the $5 a day plan. And I said, it's so simple that a 5-year-old could do it. A monkey could do it. And I said, if you do this, I said, here's all you do. And I showed her, I grabbed her phone and I said, let's look up this app. This app is Robinhood. Let's start with something real simple. And you set it to where you're going to put a certain amount of money in there every week. And I said, $35 is a number we talk about, since that's $5 a day. But if you can do $100, then everything triples. If you do $200, that's even more. I said, but what you got to do, you got to do 2 things. And all I need you to do is 2 things. One, do it every week. Have the money every week go into an S&P 500 fund like SPY or VOO, Sierra Papa Yankee or Victor Oscar Oscar. And then 2, don't sell. Do not sell, do not sell, do not sell. And then just leave it alone. Let nature take its course. And what will happen, I told her, I said, your kids and grandkids are going to have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their bank account when they're in their 20s. They'll never have to work for anybody their entire life. They'll never know the stress of having to get up in the morning to go to a job that you hate. They'll never have to worry about the stress of financial anxiety that comes when you can't pay your bills. Your granddaughter ain't never gonna have to sleep with some dusty old man in order to get the rent paid. Your son is not gonna have to take penitentiary chances just to get a few $100s. Your children will be in a safe space, and they'll be in a better emotional space because they have this thing that most Americans don't have, which is so precious and valuable, which is this thing called financial security. So the thing about financial security is that the goal of corporate America is to keep you as financially insecure as possible. The goal of corporate America, the government, or any entity that's seeking to control you is not to have you be secure. It's not to have you be healthy, not to have you be independent. Because if you become secure, healthy, and independent, then you don't need them anymore, right? So like how even during the pandemic, I mean, think about this. Let me know if y'all can still hear me. I want to make sure y'all can still hear me. But seriously, think about it. During the pandemic, I was like, well, they're making a whole lot of money. I saw how much money they were making off those shots. And I said, man, they're able to make money because there are so many people that were so vulnerable to a virus, because their health wasn't right. Right. So they were like, oh yeah, if you're obese and then you're more vulnerable. So here, get this shot, get this shot. And I'm not telling you what to think about the shot, but what bothered me was I said, I'd never really heard these same people ever encourage those people to fight against obesity. You never talked about what it means to have a healthy immune system. Did y'all give me a guess if you know what I'm talking about? Did they at any point in the pandemic ever talk about what's required to just keep your immune system healthy so you don't really have to worry as much about whether or not you get a virus, right? Again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't or shouldn't have got the shot. I believe that's a personal choice, but that was so strange. But it's not strange when you understand capitalism the way I do. Capitalism is kind of a dirty pig. Capitalism is designed to keep you dependent, right? So corporate America, and the government in particular, their goal is to keep you as helpless as possible, so they can be the hero, right? So they want to be your savior, and they want to be your oppressor. And the day you believe that your oppressor and your savior are the same person is the day you're doomed to be in a cycle of death. You're going to be in a cycle of physical death, spiritual death, economic death. Spiritual, physical death because they're going to keep feeding you food that's going to kill you, and they're going to milk your bank account all the way till the finish line. Spiritual death because it sucks to be a slave, and then financial death because the goal of capitalism is to just churn through your money and to extract what they can from you. If you listen to a lot of economists talk about the economy, they always talk extensively about this resilient consumer, the resilient American consumer. The resilient American consumer is keeping the economy roaring along. They talk about that all the time. You know what they're saying? They're saying, man, these suckers keep spending money. They'll spend their last. They're so addicted to spending that they'll go in debt just to keep up with the Joneses. Like if we market a new car, they'll go buy the damn car because they so busy. They will max out the credit cards, the student loan debt's out of control, credit card debt out of control, automobile debt out of control, all of that because people are so addicted to spending. So when they're telling you, oh my God, thank God we have this resilient consumer, they're really saying, thank you for being a sucker. Thank you for propping up and allowing us to live the lifestyle to which we have chosen to become accustomed. Because guess what? The corporation ain't never going to increase your minimum wage. I mean, they might a little bit, but it gets to where it becomes a joke, right? They're not trying to increase your minimum wage. They're not trying to increase the wages of college graduates. They're not trying to give you more job security. They're not trying to even deal with reining in the inflation that's causing the cost of everything to go up while your wages are staying flat. It's a sucker's game. It's a trap. It is all a big old trap. And I say this to you as a person who understands finance and capitalism and money at a really high level. It makes me pull my hair out, and I ain't even got no hair. Really, maybe that's why I ain't got no hair, because I'll be pulling it out, just literally looking at this like, oh my God, right? So here's the thing, right? So hit the thumbs up button if you can. Please hit the thumbs up button. One of the reasons that we even put together the whole Black Financial Therapy Department in the Black Business School, and my beautiful wife, Alicia, who is a therapist, I'll put her website up here if you want to see what she does. She sees couples and families and stuff like that. So she's good at what she does. So feel free to go to coachingwithdralicia.com. There's a URL on the screen. Anyway, So we figured out, we were like, we need a Black financial therapy department because we need healing, to not just deal with trauma, but to overcome brainwashing. Like we need to be snapped out of it. Like we've been kind of programmed in a certain way, and you need a degree of financial consciousness that allows your economic thinking to elevate above the systematic subconscious programming that's all around you. Do you understand? Right? The school system is part of the programming, media part of the programming, corporate America part of the programming, universities part of the programming, right? And then next thing you know, you're stuck like this, like you're swimming, and then you're like you're not getting nowhere. Your head's barely above water, and you're like, why is this happening to me when I did everything right? I went to school, I didn't break the law, I don't live too far above my means, if at all, you know. Well, it's because there's certain mechanics where 2 plus 2 plus 2 always has to equal 6, and it's like if 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6, but they're expecting you to rise above a level 7, and but somehow they've told you that getting to 6 is enough, but at the same time they're thinking 2 plus 2 plus 2 is going to equal 8, right? That's the problem, right? 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. They're telling you that 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 8, right? And the economy needs you to be at a 7 in order to keep your head above water. So you're doing okay, 2 plus 2 plus 2, go to college, make good grades, get a good job, whatever. Let's say that's 2 plus 2 plus 2. So you get to 6, and you're like, okay, I'm an 8 now, because that's what they told me. That's what the Democrats told me. That's what the Republicans told me. That's what corporate America told. That's what media told me. And then you're at, but the economy needs you to be at a 7, but you think you're at an 8, so you're drowning, right? And you're like, oh God, I can't pay my bills. Like, what's going on? What am I doing wrong? And you think everybody else is doing better than you. You think everybody else is doing okay, and so you're feeling like maybe you did something wrong, when really the whole system was kind of designed to sort of create various forms of economic insecurity, because that's how they get your black ass back to work. That's what they do. That's what they needed you after the pandemic. The pandemic was such a fascinating um, experiment in terms of what it did to people's psyches. It was fascinating to see what happens when the whole world jumps on the internet. I've been on the internet for a long time, and so suddenly the whole world was doing what we were doing. We're like, oh wow, okay. And then so the whole world jumped on the internet, and the whole world was staying home from work. So you had millions of people who started having these reflections. Like that's what happens. It's almost like, you ever see somebody, you know what it makes me think about? You ever see somebody that goes to jail, like he's a knucklehead in the streets, acting fool, can't tell him nothing, but then he goes to jail and he comes out 10 years later and he's like far more enlightened, like far more observant, far more like intelligent, like, because why? Well, because he was forced to sit down and reflect on his life. And while he's sitting there reflecting on his life, he starts to come to these insights that you only come to when you're not distracted. That's why I think everybody should meditate. I think everybody should have time where you go someplace by yourself and just sit and reflect on your life. Look at your past, look at your present, look at your future, look at your friends, look at your situation, think about everything and say, okay, where am I now? How do I get to where I want to be? And where do I want to be? How do I feel about this? I do that. And if you want to know why I'm I'm a little bit different from a lot of people. I'm a strange bird. I know these things. And part of the reason I'm a strange bird is because I learned the value of that form of meditation when I was about 22 years old. When I was 22, I started picking up on these things, and I said, wow, just sitting here thinking about life helps me understand a lot of things that I don't know if everybody completely gets. And the thing to me is that consciousness is extremely important for those of you that don't want to get caught in the trap. Because if you're conscious and reflective on every move that you make, you're going to make different decisions from other people. You're going to say, okay, maybe I shouldn't pick up that liquor bottle, or maybe I shouldn't go to that party, or maybe I shouldn't sleep with that girl right now, or maybe I should, just whatever. Maybe I need to keep that money in my pocket because I didn't like how I felt when I went broke last time. And every time I get my check, I tend to overspend, right? Little things like that. That consciousness, I cannot overstate how valuable that is when it comes to carving your own path. And then what you got to do once you start coming to these insights, in my opinion, you have to have the courage and self-love to pursue that direction, even if it's different from everybody else. That's the other stage of it. A lot of times, like I used to not really listen to myself because I was like, well, if what I'm thinking makes sense, then why is everybody else doing the opposite? Well, they must be right because the crowd is going this way and I'm going that way. And then what would happen is I would go with the crowd, and then it would be a bad decision, and I'd be like, damn, I should have listened to myself. So one thing I learned over time is to gain that courage to listen to myself, even if nobody else understands, even if nobody else disagrees, whatever, right? And it's still to this day, literally to this day, I still go through it. I'll say something on social media, I'll have 1,000 people saying, that's stupid, you're crazy, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. Right? I could, and the reason it's also difficult to make your own decision or to go in your own direction is because you might actually be wrong sometimes. That's the thing. Like, it'd be nice if every time you had a gut instinct to go in a different direction, it was always going to work out. No, sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes you're the only person in your family that quits their job and starts a business, and the business fails. Because that's life, right? And then the thing about it is, you could either you could have made a mistake, or B, it could have just went bad for you, right? And then somebody's gonna be standing there saying, see, I told you, you was stupid and blah blah blah. But you got to learn how to work past that too, right? Because I make mistakes all the time, every single week. But again, self-love comes into play because I love myself enough to know that even when I make a mistake, even when I do something wrong, even when I just blow up the building because I went in the wrong direction, it's okay. It's okay. I'm still worthy of love. I'm still a good person. I'm still improving. God is not through with me yet, and I'm gonna keep on marching. March to the beat of your own drummer, and don't be afraid of that. But just make sure that you're doing that meditation, that reflection, to really understand what matters to you. This is the type of consciousness that I think will create not just better economics and better health and better relationships, but just a better life, period. You'll just be happier, you'll be around, like I like my life when I'm around people I really want to be around. That's why, for example, I'll talk about celebrities and stuff. I'll be like, why does everybody want to hang out with him just because he got money? He's a jerk. Just stuff like that, right? So get those insights, and I think that'll create a better life for you. All right, so anyway, I know y'all didn't come in here for all of that, but I hope that me sharing this helps you, and help somebody out here to just pursue whatever you're supposed to pursue, find your purpose, find your passion. Also, I'm actually doing a training camp on economic consciousness starting January 1st, and it's basically called Money in the Morning with Dr. Boyce. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 30 days. Each morning, we're going to do an economic reflection. I have a book called 30 Days to Black Wealth and Power, and the cost of the class, we're going to get together every single morning at 10 a.m. Eastern on our social media platform, B1 Nation. So make sure you join. You can join the platform for free, b1nation.us. And what's going to happen is basically each morning we'll do a 30-minute lesson. We're going to do this every single day for 30 straight days, 7 days a week. And the reason I want to do it this way is because they say it takes about 30 days to form a new habit. So what I want us to do is at the end of those 30 days, we will have a set of financial habits, because we will have gone through and done a reflection on each day. And I'll talk you through the reflection and help you elevate your economic consciousness. And by the time you're done, I think it'll take everybody to another level. So the cost of the class is $299. However, you can actually join for free if you just want to get a copy of the book. Anybody who buys a copy of the book can actually join for free. So if you go to drboycebooks.com and just search for, just go to the search box at the top, look for 30 Days of Black Wealth and Power, get a copy of the book. Everybody who buys a copy will send you out the link to join the class for free. We're going to start January 1st. We're going to go through January 30th. That's the next big thing we're going to do. We will have all the recordings as well. But the thing is that the live component is the part you would get for free. The recordings will have a fee, but if you want to do that, you can do that as well. We'll invite you to do that. But we wanted to make it as low cost as possible because I want a lot of people to kind of go through this exercise together. So that's why we've sort of minimized the hurdle to get into the class. So feel free to go to drboycebooks.com, get a copy of the book. Somebody will send you the link to join. And we're going to do this on our social media platform, B1 Nation, b1nation.us. All right. So hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Our stock pick of the day was Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals, ticker symbol ARWR. The ticker symbol's ARWR. I think I might have mentioned that earlier. If I didn't, let me make sure I just say that again. ARWR, Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals. That's the stock that I just bought. So feel free to take a look at that. And God bless you guys. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Peace.